Every day, business owners process transactions without a second thought until something goes wrong. A customer changes their mind, a duplicate charge happens, or a pricing error slips through. Now you're faced with a decision that seems simple: refund or void. The problem is most merchants view them as the same thing, but they're not. One can cost you more money, time, and customer trust. I'm Shanna with ECS Payments, and I'm here to clear the confusion and educate merchants like you on smarter checkout tools and practices. Let's break it down. Refund versus void. What is a void? A void cancels a transaction before it's fully processed. Think of it as hitting the undo button before a payment is settled. If a customer is still in your store and you notice an error, this is your best move. With a void, the money never actually leaves the customer's account. It's like the transaction never existed. But voids are only possible before you settle your batch. What is a refund? A refund happens after the transaction has already settled. The money has moved from the customer's account, and now you have to send it back. The process of a refund is slower, more visible, and comes with added costs. A refund is a second transaction, not a cancellation. They occur only after you've settled your batch. And this is where most merchants underestimate the impact. A void is clean. There's no extra movement and therefore no extra processing costs. A refund, on the other hand, means you still pay the original transaction processing fee. Plus, you process a second transaction with a secondary transaction fee to return the funds. On top of added fees, refunds can take several days to show back up in your customer's account. This delay creates friction, and friction can create complaints. It's one thing if a customer purchases an item, changes their mind, and returns it a few days or weeks later. They usually aren't upset that the funds take a few days to show up back in their account. But if the issue was a merchant error, such as getting charged twice for a $50 purchase on accident, those missing funds can be a big deal to certain customers. If you catch this error immediately, void it, and the second charge will disappear. But if you notice it later, like the next day, you now have to process a refund. It's the same mistake, but very different outcomes. So if voids can only happen before settlement, what about debit cards? Can you still void debit cards? The short answer is yes. You can void both credit and debit cards, but this is where things become a little convoluted. The reason comes down to how money moves. With credit cards, the funds aren't actually pulled from the customer's account right away. The transaction sits in a pending state until it's finally settled. That's why voids work so cleanly. You're canceling it before funds actually move. With debit cards, it's different. Funds are pulled immediately from the customer's bank account. So even if you void a transaction on your end, the bank may still hold the customer's funds. This means the money can still appear missing from the customer's account, and the hold can take a few days to release, depending on the bank. So from your end, the void worked, and you have no additional transaction or refund fees to worry about. But from the customer's end, their money still seems a little tied up. This is where communication becomes critical. If you process a void on a customer's debit card, you need to clearly communicate the expectations up front. Otherwise, what you see as a resolved issue can become a complaint pretty easily. Void when you can, always. But understand how debit works so that you're not caught off guard when a customer has questions. The hidden risk most businesses ignore. What seems like a simple operational issue can actually turn into something much larger. Did you know refund patterns can be a signal to banks and card networks? These institutions actually monitor refund activity very closely. High refund volume can raise red flags about your business practices. This can lead to higher processing scrutiny, increased fees, and in some extreme cases, account termination. And this happens more often than most merchants realize. To avoid customer complaints and bank scrutiny, these are some best practices that you should be following. 1. Train your staff. Catch errors in real time so that you can process voids instead of refunds. 2. Review transactions daily. The longer you wait, the less void opportunities you have. 3. Use a system that makes this easy. If your payment platform buries void functions or hides settlement visibility, you're already at a disadvantage. Number 4, track refund patterns. If refunds are still happening frequently, something deeper is wrong in your process. It's time to dig below the surface of your operations. Here's the reality. Not all payment systems give you the same level of control. Some make voiding easy, others make it unnecessarily complicated, which leads to more refunds, fees, and headaches. This is where working with a provider that prioritizes transparency and efficiency changes the game. When your system is built to give you real-time control over your transactions, you're not only easily reacting to problems, more importantly, you're preventing them. Refunds and voids are decisions that impact your margins, your operations, and your customer experience. Make the right call at the right time, and you stay in control. Get it wrong consistently, and the costs start stacking up. If you're dealing with unnecessary refunds, delayed funding, and a system that just makes simple fixes harder than they should be, it's time to take a closer look at how your current payment processing setup is actually working for you. At ECS Payments, we help businesses gain real control over their transactions, so issues like this are handled quickly, cleanly, and without added costs. Visit us at ecspayments.com to see how your current setup compares. Follow us on Instagram and subscribe for more practical insights to help you run a smarter operation. Until next time, I'm Shanna with ECS Payments.